Turkiye dominates in both their World Cup qualification matches. It was awesome. Now the break's over, and Galatasaray starts one of their busiest months of scheduled fixtures in recent memories. Let's talk all about it on the Galatasaray Show. Welcome back to the Galatasaray Show. I'm Brad. This is Serkan.
Good afternoon.
It's been a busy international break for the Galatasaray Show. Since we were with you last time, we now have a TikTok channel. So if you're a TikToker, you can find us at the Galatasaray Show. We're also a podcast now. So if you don't like looking at these beautiful faces of ours, you can listen to our wonderful voices now. Or if you just prefer podcasts, if that's more your speed, then we have that as well. So we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those wonderful places. So you can now find the Galatasaray Show there. So we're going to start the show off because we're Turks first, Galatasaray second, I suppose. What a great weekend by the national team, Serkan. Can you remember a more dominating two performances as these last two we've had?
No, we've been playing really good.
That Spain game seems like a million miles away. What?
Well, that's another story. By the way, I like your background. It's very sentimental.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is my very first national team jersey. So I watched Turkey play in the 2002 World Cup, and at that point I was still working at the GNC International. So when I went to Turkey the next time, I bought that jersey. Yeah, those are fun times because I was in the Eastern time zone then, and that was Asian time. So it was pretty cool. You'd wake up like at 4 in, watch Turkey play, take a shower, go to work.
Yeah, good old times.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll be in for more fun times like that in the coming months. We'll if Kenan Yildiz keeps doing this and scoring goals right and left, we're gonna be in good shape.
That man is a world-class winger or a striker. I don't know what his position is.
But whatever he is, I like it. It's very good. So the break is over. And it was all good news. Turkey wins both games. Yunus scored today. Abdul Karim looked great in the games. Barsh played and looked good. And today, Nigeria, who was adrift in like 4th place, Oshiman scores not 1, not 2, but a hat trick and gets Nigeria into the playoff. So I guess whatever that Oshiman that was playing at 70%, he's looking pretty good now. So that bodes well for us this weekend, I think.
And I'm glad that no one is injured.
Exactly.
We're getting all these players healthy, so that's good.
And they all seem to have an enjoyable time, so that's good.
Yeah.
I don't know about Shalai in Hungary. I didn't check on that. Shame on me. But starting this Saturday with Başakşehir here. I believe Galatasaray is playing 6 games, 7 games.
6 games
in 3 weeks. 6 games in 3 weeks. Where'd it go? Here it is. Yeah. Başakşehir here this Saturday. Bodo Glimt on the 22nd. That's a Wednesday. Then on a Sunday, Göztepe the 28th. Then Trabzon on a Saturday, the 1st of November. Then Ajax away on a Thursday, on a Wednesday, the 5th. And then home to Kocaelispor on the 9th. No, I'm sorry, that's on the road. But it's in Istanbul, so it's not too far away.
Kocaeli is not Istanbul. That's a different city.
Okay, where is it?
I think it's only 3 or 2.5 hours from Istanbul.
So it's not far. That's good. They can take a bus.
Yeah, maybe less than that. I don't know.
All right. So all I know is people said that if you were in Istanbul, this would be the best time to go there because all you'd have to do is to fly to Ajax, and you could go to you could get a hotel for 3 weeks and go to 6 games, which is crazy. So speaking of that's great for fans. Not so good for players. So starting this Saturday, we talked about this a little bit in the last video. So like we saw in these games, Arda, young player, he does great. Kenan does great. Yunus, still relatively young, he does good. But then at other times, we see, especially Galatasaray, a little bit more than Fenerbahce, but Fenerbahce is not good either. We have players on our U21s and U19s that are good. And they're good enough to make the team. They're good enough to play in the Turkish Cup when it doesn't matter. But then, when it matters, they disappear. It's like, it's Halloween time, right? They disappear. And we don't see them anymore. Like I know Arda
The
Unal.
opportunity to prove yourself. The Turkish Cup, I don't want to underestimate or I mean think about Kerem Aktürkoğlu. The first time that I saw him playing, it was in a Turkish Cup game, right? That's how got his position in the first 11 in the next Turkish Super League game.
But
That's how
last
he earned
season,
his position.
yeah, last season we have I think it's Ayub and Yusuf. They,
Yes.
they look great. They look great, and then they're part of the squad, Kadroda, and they never see the field. I mean, not in the 80th minute, not in the 85th minute. It's like they disappeared. And here's my theory. Here's my theory. I think this is all due to the fact that Turkey only has one, and we didn't even have that till this year. Again, one guaranteed Champions League spot. We talk about the league doesn't matter, Champions League matters. Well, in Turkey, if you don't win the league, you don't play in Champions League. Like, yeah, the second place has a chance to qualify, but you saw Fenerbahce this year. They lost in that. We lost to the young boys. We had a Cardi, all these people, and we lost to young boys, who was the worst performing team
In the
in
Champions.
the Champions League last year. The worst. And that's who we lost to. But and that shows you, and you saw how good we were last year. We barely dropped a point in the league. But it just shows you on any given day, if things aren't going right, those little qualifiers can get tricky, and you don't want to play them. And that's why I think Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, to a point, Besiktas, anybody who's in real contention, we're going to go out and buy it's like these crazy rumors you see like Mohamed Salah coming to Galatasaray, right? They're talking about they're going to push hard. This guy plays no defense. But I really do feel they'd be more comfortable bringing in a 33-year-old him than playing, I forget his first name, Hakan Balta's son. What's his first name?
Çağrı.
Charlie Balta, right? He looks great for the young Galatasaray teams, but we're not going to give him a chance to be a striker. We're going to loan him somewhere because we can't take the chance. In England, in Germany, you can experiment like Atletico. They play young people. Eintracht Frankfurt, they play young people, sell people. Why? In those leagues, you can finish fourth. You can finish fifth. I think in England, can't you finish sixth?
No, only the top four team goes to the Champions League. The fifth, sixth, and the seventh positions, I think they go to Euro Cup.
All right. But at least the top four. And so they can slip up, and like you say, you would rather win the Champions League than win the league. And that's what happens most.
Absolutely. There's
Well,
no
yeah,
comparison.
but that's
I'm
what
not
happens.
talking about winning the Champions League. I want to play the quarterfinal and take the second place in the Turkish Super League. I'll be okay
Yeah.
with it.
And that's fine in England. That's fine in Spain. That's fine in Germany because they all still go to the Champions League the next year.
That's not going to work out in the Turkish Super League.
No, you would finish in the quarterfinals and they're probably not qualified the next year. That's the terrible part about it. And who's to blame for this? Who's to blame? We are.
I think we used to have reserve teams back in 2000s. Do you remember those days? The players that do not play regularly, they used to play in the reserve team. I think England have that system. The English teams have that system. The Italian teams, I think they have team Bs or reserve teams, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So they send all these useless players to reserve team and they play. I don't want to say useless. Useless for the first team. Let's say that useless for the first team. And they send those players to the reserve team or the team B and they play some competitive games in the reserve team and they get ready for the first team and then if they're good then they got promoted to the first team. That's how it worked before.
Yeah, but we don't have that. And, let's look. We just now got this Champions League guaranteed spot back. But then Besiktas was terrible in Europe this year. Başakşehir here was god-awful. At least Konya's won a game now. But
Samson.
it's all,
Samson? Not
Samson,
Konya.
yeah, Samson, my bad, Samson, thank you. But the problem is like these little teams, God bless them, they qualify for Champions League. And then they crap out of the Champions League. They crap out of the Euro Cup. They crap out of the Conference League. And it kills our coefficient. Like, I know we hate Fenerbahce, but the best thing for us would be for Fenerbahce to win the Euro League.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We need Samson, and I like Samson. They need to keep going in the Conference League. If Turkey could get 2 guaranteed Champions League spots, how do you think that would change at least Galatasaray, Besiktas, and Fenerbahce's thinking about taking chances on youth players?
Plus, it will make the league more competitive. I mean, there are tons of benefits that we can talk about all day long. So the more teams that we send to Champions League, the more competitive the league is going to be.
Well, absolutely. Like I watched a video last night by one of these bigger European channels, Goal 90 or something, and it was the 7 players who could step in and play on any European league right now. Basically saying how like there's only 7 players in our entire friggin' league that could play anywhere. And one of them he listed was Sane, who's not even starting for us. So the guy didn't even research. And this is new. It was a new video. It's not like it was months old. It's new. So it was Osimhen, and Icardi was on the list. And he had Icardi's stats. 5 goals in this many minutes. But he hasn't watched a single minute of the game because he's talking about how he can go play for Arsenal. He can go play for Bayern Munich. Did the same thing for Sane. El Nesri did the same thing for El Nesri. All he did, this guy didn't watch a minute of Turkish football.
I would have scored 10 goals in the Turkish Farmers League, yeah.
Yeah, he just looked and said, which Turkish players, he asked ChatGPT, which Turkish players have formerly played for any team in England or Germany? And he got his list and made a video. We get no respect because, again, we send teams to Europe like us, and we lose the young boys. We're as big a part of the problem as anybody. Like 2 years ago when we qualified, I was shocked. I didn't think we'd ever make it through. We made it through 3 rounds of qualifying to get to the Champions League. And that's tough. So yeah, if we had these 2 spots, then guess what? We wouldn't be wondering who's going to play in Davidson's position. It'd be Arda, because that's the position he plays. And they would just play him. And if you drew at Başakşehir here, nobody would care. Because you'd still be up 4 points, and there's 2 spots. I don't think we draw just because he's playing. I don't think they're great. We have lots of players. But yeah, if we had more 2, not more, just 2 Champions League spots, then it wouldn't be as big a deal for these Istanbul clubs to play more young players.
Well, there's a lot to talk about regarding playing those young people, but it's something that we kind of inherited for a long time. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. We don't have the courage to play young players. Well, hopefully we'll learn some lessons and try to play those players in the Turkish Super League.
Well, yeah, everybody talks about like what garbage the Super League is. I mean, if you can't play a youth player in the Super League, then what league can you play a youth player in? And I get it. If we're playing Fenerbahce, sure, put Kaan Ayhan back there, just make everybody feel better. But we're playing like 8th or 9th place Başakşehir here in Istanbul. It's not at home, but it'll be like Galatasaray will have way more home fans there than there'll be Başakşehir fans. You know why? Because there are no Başakşehir fans. They're all fake. It's just people they pay money and give them a jersey and say go in the stadium and stand there for a while. Nobody really likes that team. It's a made-up team. You heard it here first. Made-up fake team. Gerçek deal. Gerçek takım deal. All right, so we have these 2 Champions League games coming up. How are you feeling?
Well, I guess we're going to have a challenging game against Bodo Glimt. They have young players. And there's a video on YouTube that I watched about 2 days ago. It talks about how Bodo kept playing in their league and how they became competitive against the other teams in Norway and so on. So I strongly recommend you to watch that video as well. It tells about the players, how Bodo has developed over time, how they have developed their games over time, and so on. So it's going to be a very competitive game. It's not going to be as easy as we think, that's for sure. To me, it's going to be more challenging than the Liverpool's game because with Liverpool, we knew how to play. We had to defend, right? But with Bodo, we want to gain the possession. We want to get the ball. We want to pass the ball around. But that's where we start making mistakes. So we need to be super careful about what we do on the pitch.
That's where my man Ilkay is going to come in. And he didn't have to go play in international duty. He got to chill out, so that was good. But yeah, I do have a little news. I brokered a deal with my wife. I wanted to go see Galatasaray play this month, but we have a lot going on. But if we make it out of the group stage and into the knockout phase, I've been approved to go to Turkiye in February for some World Cup, for some Champions League games, and a couple of league games as well. So
Yeah,
I'm very
good
excited
deal.
about that.
Nice.
We can bring the Galatasaray show to Istanbul.
Yep, absolutely. Good news.
It is good news. All right. But great job, Türkiye and Galatasaray. We have lots of players. Okan, I read Okan's interview this week. He says, just because the starting 11 that he puts out isn't the one that you want, don't worry about it. He's trying to rotate players and keep everybody healthy and happy and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna try to listen to him and put my trust in Okan Hoja that 11 that he's picking out is the correct 11 for that game. But I will be very curious Saturday afternoon when that starting 11 comes out of whose name we see back there in that back four. But again, we are on not just YouTube now. We're on, what is it? I'm blanking. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that fun stuff. And you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at the Galatasaray Show. Thanks, everybody, and whether you're watching or listening, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.